Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Keith Gibson here in the First Alert Weather Center. I hope you are doing well. It's Sunday. It is February 25th. We had a pretty mild day today. We're going to allow folks to gather on into the stream here this evening, and then we'll do a quick weather discussion and talk about where we are headed this week. And let me just tell you real quick, it is going to be a wild week of weather here across northeastern Wisconsin. Let me bring up our Appleton Skycam first, and we have a nice moon shining tonight. We have some higher clouds across the region. This is a nearly full moon. It is waning now. Last night was the full moon, but it's a pretty nice view out there on our Sunday evening. Let's go ahead and get into our weather discussion right away, and hopefully you can hear me a-okay, and we have no glitches happening out there in the world. And let me just test my audio real quick, and we should be good to go here. I always want to double check and triple check, make sure we have at least some audio going here. And all right, let's go ahead and roll into the discussion here. Highs today, record highs, Green Bay 54.
Hey there, everybody.
Oh, sorry about that. Green Bay today, 54 degrees, a new record high. The old record 49 back in 2000. Manitowoc, 54, and the old record 52. Oshkosh, 57, and the old record 55. Wow. And Appleton, 55, tying the old record of 55 back from 1911. Get used to record highs. We've had a lot of them, it seems like, this winter. We are going to have a few more here before anything else happens, it would appear. Maybe some more records tomorrow and a lot of records on Tuesday before a big blast of cold air for one day on Wednesday. That's what I mean. This is going to be a wild weather week. Now, your Monday is going to be pretty quiet overall. We will settle down into the 20s for lows tonight. It's going to be a chilly night. Winds are easing. We will wake up to some 20s and low 30s tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. You'll definitely need a coat as you venture out to school and to work tomorrow. The wind will start to increase from the south and southeast, at times gusting over 30 miles per hour. So the wind will be more noticeable, but it's still going to be mild. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds and very mild inland, widespread 50s to low 60s. But it will be a little bit cooler again with a south to southeast breeze off the cool lake waters and the bay. Probably 40s near the water up through Door County and along the bay, but you come inland, we're thinking 50s, and you get south and west of the Fox Cities, we may be into the 60-degree range once again, and there may be some more record highs established west and southwest of the Fox Cities tomorrow. It's going to be very close in Wausau, Rhinelander. I don't think we're going to do the old record tomorrow in Green Bay. That is 61, but we'll see how things shake out on our Monday. Keep in mind the average high right now, check that out, 33 degrees. That's where we should be. It's just been extremely warm. As we've been talking about for weeks now, this is the warmest winter on record for northeastern Wisconsin and a good chunk of the Great Lakes region, and we will end up with the warmest winter on record with really just one last cold day coming up on Wednesday before meteorological winter goes away on Thursday, well, Friday, once we get out of Leap Day on Thursday. Now let's talk about the wind. It's going to ease tonight. It's going to be windy tomorrow, gusty by midday and into the afternoon, south to southeast winds. You can see we'll have some wind gusts, probably over 30 miles per hour. It's going to be a bit of a nuisance out there. We have dry vegetation. We have lost a lot of our snow and ice cover. And one thing that we are bringing back into the fold in the weather discussion is fire danger. Remember last spring when we had some issues in March with extremely warm temperatures, dry vegetation, low humidity, gusty wind, and we had some fire issues at the end of last winter. And right now, things are not looking good. A lot of the days going forward will feature a lot of wind, plenty of wind, and relatively dry conditions here. The exception will be a chance for a little bit of precip Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Hopefully we can get some snow on the ground to mitigate things a little bit temporarily midweek, but we'll warm up again and likely have more fire danger issues later on this week into next weekend. So this is going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we go forward for the rest of the week into next weekend and beyond. That fire danger has crept back into the discussion and will likely linger until we can either get more snow on the ground or get some significant precipitation, but that's something we'll be monitoring. Now, jumping ahead to Tuesday, more records expected. This is going to be the warmest day of the near term. We're thinking away from the lakeshore, widespread 60s, Mid to upper 60s a possibility. Could there be a few 70s? Can't rule that out. It is going to be a matter of just how warm can we get before a cold front comes on in and how fast will cloud up in the afternoon. But it's going to be cooler lakeside, but still likely in the 50s, but inland areas on Tuesday, smashing the old record highs well into the 60s across northeastern Wisconsin. And as we mentioned, we had record highs today. We'll likely have a few records tomorrow or very close to record highs tomorrow. And these are the old records for our Tuesday. Check this out. Low 50s to low 60s, and I suspect most, if not all of these, will be broken across northeastern Wisconsin with the big warm-up that is headed our way. Time will tell, but it's looking like it's going to be a very warm day here. So the next 3 days, this is that weather whiplash. Tomorrow, away from the lakeshore, mild, a lot of 50s, a lot of 60s on Tuesday, very mild, and then Wednesday, 20s, blustery, cold, wind chills, numbing, single digits above and below zero in the morning. It is going to be nasty here, but it is winter. We should be used to that kind of stuff. It's just been so warm for so long. But there is a big chunk of cold air that actually will break loose out of Canada and come our way temporarily. This would be Tuesday night, Wednesday into Wednesday night, and then the winds will switch back around to the south starting Thursday. Gusty wind again, leading into those fire danger issues. But then the wind will start to increase from the south, and that will allow mild air to push back in here. So this cold snap is going to be a one-day event, but it's going to be extreme. We usually don't have these extremes like this, but this is the wind chill trend. Tuesday afternoon, no wind chill. It's going to be pretty nice. 50s and 60s for most of the region. But the front's going to come in during the evening hours, and that feel-like factor by the time you wake up on Wednesday will likely be in the single digits in most spots, above, if not slightly below zero, back to the north and west. And it's just going to be blustery and cold all day long. Some wind gusts could be up to around 40 miles per hour on Wednesday. As the cold air rushes in, we will have some rain transition to snow. We are putting the outlook for snow in the forecast here for Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning. This is the European forecast model. This is just one solution. The American GFS model is actually a little bit more bullish on a coating to a couple of inches more widespread across the area. And one of our other in-house models, the graph model, is even more optimistic on some snow. But I'm going to err on the side of caution right now and just go with about a half inch to 1 to 2 inches here. That's what the European model here is suggesting, just because it's going to be so warm, and we'll see how things shake out here. But snow, falling temperatures, wind, and slippery spots, a possibility going into our Wednesday morning commute. So really the only day of concern, I think, as far as travel here is going to be Wednesday, the first half of Wednesday with the cold air blowing in. The snow's going to taper off by midday, but the cold and the snow will likely linger a little bit, and we'll have some slippery travel here. So we will highlight Wednesday for risk for some slippery travel, especially during the morning hours. That would be Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning. Now, I'm also highlighting Tuesday in the yellow, still low, but we are monitoring the chance for some thunder in the region. Tuesday afternoon, rather, into Tuesday evening. Not a big chance, but there is a chance. Now, all of this stuff that we're talking about here is because of this area of low pressure back to the northwest out by Seattle, western Canada. This is the next weather maker coming on in. The cold air is to the north of that area of low pressure. The front in blue, the cold front, will sweep on through on Tuesday night, and that is going to be the culprit of everything we've been talking about. Now, thunder, yes, we may hear some rumbles. We could see some thunder, or we could see some lightning, hear some thunder in the region here Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Most of us not really expecting a lot here. I don't really expect a lot of significant thunderstorm activity in northeastern Wisconsin. Moisture will be lacking. Don't really have a lot of, there are some ingredients, but they're not ideal. And it's just not a really good setup for widespread strong storms here in northeastern Wisconsin. Could there be a gusty storm or maybe some hail and a stronger storm cell? It's a possibility. But really the best chance for some more widespread, robust thunderstorm activity on Tuesday and Tuesday night is likely going to be down in Illinois, southern Michigan, Indiana. But southern Wisconsin, we'll see, still a little bit iffy. This is the bigger run of one of our forecast models here. And this is showing the thunderstorms really blossoming to our southeast going into late Tuesday evening, Tuesday night. So while there could be some thunder and there's a little bit of noise surrounding the chance for some severe weather in Wisconsin on Tuesday, for us here in northeastern Wisconsin, I'm going to downplay it for now. We'll adjust and see how things go tomorrow as new data come on in. But right now we're going to focus on the big temperature swing and the chance for some frozen precip that could cause some issues on Wednesday. So going into our forecast model here, first alert pinpoint predictor, this is the Wisconsin view. We'll keep it on the Wisconsin view here. Going for the rest of tonight into tomorrow, your Monday. It's shaping up to be a pretty good day here overall for Monday. As we mentioned, it's going to be a little bit windy, but we'll have a fair amount of sunshine, some fair weather clouds tonight into tomorrow. And going into Tuesday, there's likely going to be a gradual increase in cloud cover, but still some sun here. And depending on how much sun and how much warming we can get, we will just see how warm those actual records can be up on the totem pole there, and just see how many we can smash. It's going to be a mild day, we think, with southerly to southwesterly breezes here. But going into Tuesday evening, this is 5:30. We'll be watching out for a couple of things. As we mentioned, there could be a few showers or storms trying to develop across southern Wisconsin, but there's also going to be this wintry mix or snow back to the west. And by late Tuesday evening, this is 11 o'clock, we'll still be warm enough for some rain showers here across northeastern Wisconsin. But as we get into the wee hours of the night after midnight, going into Wednesday morning, that rain switches over to snow. This is one of our more aggressive forecast models as far as snow cover. I like the depiction, though. Whether or not all of this is going to actually accumulate, that's one thing. But we will have a pretty good dose of some snow shower activity here with wind and falling temperatures Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So when you go to bed on Wednesday or on Tuesday evening, it's going to be above freezing. When you wake up, it's going to be a whole different world with likely a coating of snow, windy conditions, and some icy spots and some slick roads out there across the region. And we'll just have to be aware of that. But this is Sunday. This is not tomorrow morning. This is not Tuesday morning. This is Wednesday morning. So as you know, a lot of stuff can happen and change here over the next 3 days. And we'll be adjusting a forecast as necessary. But that's going to be a short-lived event Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. Clouds will eventually clear later on during the day Wednesday. And then we are on the back side of it. Let me show you that with the big picture here. So that area of low pressure that we just showed you out in the Pacific Northwest, that is the system here on Monday. We are out ahead of it. So we're in the warm sector. It's going to be windy on Monday, and it's going to be mild. It's also going to be mild on Tuesday, records, but oddly enough, Tuesday is going to be a day that will be mild, but with lighter winds. So it's going to be an interesting day for us because we're going to be not looking at a lot of wind. It's still going to be pretty mild. If you can do anything outdoors for at least a couple of hours, midday into the early to mid-afternoon hours on Tuesday, boy, try to take advantage if you can, because it will be really nice, because the wind is not really going to be too much of a factor, unlike many other days out of the next 7. But here comes the cold front right there. That's going to usher in that burst of cold air midweek. A one-day cold spell, really, maybe 1.5, let's say. Tuesday night, Wednesday, and the Wednesday night will bottom out into the teens here. Wednesday night, Thursday morning. And then another system, another warm front, that line that is red right there will come on in starting Thursday, so winds become southerly. And this is going to be another big system that will be developing back to the west later on in the week, and we will be on the warm side of that for the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At this point, I'm expecting more highs that could be near or above record territory, with some 50s and 60s coming our way that 7 day in just a split second. So for tonight, just to recap the near-term forecast, winds are easing, lows for most of us down into the 20s, a chilly start for our Monday, but it should be a pretty nice start to the work week. Cooler lakeside, some 40s, but 50s to low 60s inland, but the wind could be gusting at times over 30 miles per hour. Let's bring up that 7-day forecast full screen here, and you can see what we're talking about. Here's that whiplash. Warm tomorrow and breezy / windy, Mild on Tuesday, lesser amounts of wind, but late in the day into the evening, we'll have some rain showers, switching over to some snow Wednesday morning. Wednesday will be windy, blustery, cold. Temperatures mainly in the 20s, wind chills single digits there. And then we bottom out into the teens Wednesday night, Thursday morning. The wind will increase from the south on Thursday. It's going to become breezy again. We should warm back up into the upper 30s, lower 40s. 52 on Friday, breezy, partly cloudy. 61, 63, Saturday, Sunday, next weekend, breezy, low humidity, gusty wind, increased fire danger, a possibility as we go forward. So if you don't want wind, and if you want no wind or lighter wind and mild temperatures, Tuesday is your day. Easy for me to speak tonight, but Tuesday will feature lighter wind than all the other days here, and then we'll see the wind come back later on in the week, and that will give rise to the warmer temperatures with a southerly wind. So there's your up and down 7-day forecast here, and it's really going to be quite the event here this week as we go from one extreme to the other. I should also mention that 2 weeks from today, we have the time change. We go back to daylight time. We spring forward 1 hour, again, 2 weeks from today. And I just want to give you that early first alert. We mentioned that last week. We're going to mention it tonight. We'll mention it next week. So we're all on the same page in 2 weeks. But if you remember, the groundhog was predicting an early spring. It's also an El Nino year, and it's been a warm winter all year. And right now we are just basically springing into spring as fast as we can. There are some speed bumps along the way. That's going to be Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning, the one day of interest there that could cause some issues. But aside from that, it's looking like some pretty good travel weather across the region as a whole this week. The exception would be Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning. And if you are involved with travel, that's certainly good news. But if you are involved with outdoor recreation, winter recreation, it's just been a disastrous type winter. And unfortunately, we don't really see any big snowstorm anytime soon. But of course, we can get socked with some big time snows in March and April. So we are definitely not out of winter just yet. We will just have to see how things shake out as we get into March and April, deeper on into spring. But the winter months, December, January, February, closing over the next couple of days as we get out of February. This is the warmest winter on record, and we'll have some of those final totals later on this week into next weekend once we get some of the data into the system. But right now we just know the trend is there. It's going to be warm really as we go into the next week or so, minus Tuesday night and Wednesday. So there's a quick weather update for you on this Sunday evening. We'll see you on TV tonight at 10 o'clock. And, of course, Steve Balon will be in tomorrow morning with the very latest at 4:30. Have a good Sunday night.